Why do dismissive avoidants get angry with us? This is potentially the most important video I've ever made on dismissive avoidance. And for us to understand why they get angry, first we need to be able to look at the world through their perspective. Now let's understand that when they were children, there was no advantage at developing empathy. There was no advantage in teamwork or even co-regulation with anyone. If ever they showed up in such a way that expressed any vulnerability within a relationship that was supposed to co-regulate, it was weaponized against them. So they got on with their own. They just did their own thing and worked out how to operate within a tunnel of their own existence. Anything on the outside of that must be ignored because it was a distraction from their own safety. Now, if they're now adults operating in the same pattern, then just imagine that if their bandwidth is low, if they've had a few things go wrong in their life, it might not be anything to do with you, and they're starting to close in and withdraw so that they can be focused enough to take one step in front of the other. And we come in and start to say, hey, look, I'm feeling you pull away. I need you to start to show up for my emotions. I'm feeling triggered in my abandonment wound. See, they're struggling already, and we're expecting them to show up for our emotions when they can barely handle their own. So when they're in that state, it's a struggle even to get out of bed. They kind of have to bully themselves just to be functional human beings. And yet we're expecting more of them because we're feeling that trigger that should be our responsibility. And of course, guess what? Either they withdraw, and if they can't withdraw and we're getting in their face, bang, there comes the anger. Now let's understand that things such as anger and animosity and frustration, they're not actually emotions at all. They're expressions of redirection. They are a projection, effectively, of not wanting to feel what exists below it. So for a dismissive avoidant, as with anyone else, would prefer not to feel the shame of not being able to show up like they are observing everyone else can. What's wrong with me that I can't get through the day without having to exclude everyone? As if they don't feel it, they do. It's hard, but the reality is their nervous system is so incredibly finely tuned to autonomy. It's hard to uncondition. It's the same way that our nervous system as anxious is conditioned to codependency. So that when we get isolated, we feel that we have to pursue someone to show up for us externally. It's no less toxic than them. Now let's understand. Our emotional needs are completely different to theirs. Let's look through the world, through their eyes, and understand that when they pull away, they're doing it purely so that they can get their affairs in order. They can regulate themselves and then return to us. Because as soon as they have space in their bandwidth for us, that's who they're going to head for, is us. But if we tackle them and hassle them whilst they're in that process, it's going to extend that period out. In fact, it may even make them feel as if they don't want to at all. So that's why a dismissive gets angry at us. There, of course, are answers to that. It doesn't need to remain that way, but that's not what this video is about. This is about understanding their perspective and understanding that our toxic behavior is no worse or better than theirs.